Two true creepy outdoor horror stories _ true scary stories, YouTube, English. Story 1. The Chase in the Woods. In the depths of a small town, nestled far away from civilization, a group of friends decided to embark on a camping adventure to celebrate a birthday. Kian, a stocky young man, and his friends Ollie, Charlie, and Sam set up their campsite in a remote wooded area. As night fell, they gathered around, enjoying drinks and laughter. But a sense of unease began to creep in. Ollie abruptly halted the music and asked, his voice trembling, if the others had heard the faint rustling in the woods, dismissing it as mere animal sounds. The group laughed off the idea of any danger. Yet, that unease persisted. As the night wore on, Kian excused himself to relieve himself deep within the trees. Suddenly, the snap of a twig shattered the stillness behind him. Heart pounding, he whirled around to face the darkness, only to catch a glimpse of a figure wearing a grotesque baby mask, crouching among the bushes. His breath caught in his throat as terror paralyzed him. With trembling hands, Kian shone his torchlight on the figure, its unsettling mask revealing nothing but a sinister grin lurking behind. Panic surged within him, but he managed to punch the figure and escape its clutches. Racing back to his friends back at the camp, he recounted the chilling encounter, urging his friends to flee immediately. They left behind their belongings and fled to Sam's car. The engine roared to life as they sped away, leaving the terror of the woods behind. Though Kian and his friends escaped the horrifying encounter, the memory of the chilling mask haunted their every thought. Weeks passed, but the unease remained, like a shadow lurking just beyond their consciousness. One night, as Kian lay in his bed, the darkness seemed thicker than usual. He felt a prickle at the back of his neck, as if being watched. He shut his eyes tight, willing the feeling away. But when he opened them again, a distorted, childlike figure stood at the foot of his bed. The baby mask stared, its twisted grin frozen in eerie delight, frozen in terror. Kian's breath caught in his throat. He struggled to cry out, but fear robbed him of his voice. The figure advanced, its footsteps growing louder, reverberating through the room. It whispered incomprehensible words, a discordant symphony of malevolent intent. With a burst of desperation, Kian lunged for his phone, bathing the room in its feeble glow. The figure had vanished, leaving behind a suffocating void. Shaken to his core, Kian questioned his sanity as the events unfolded around him. As days turned to weeks, the menacing presence refused to relent. Kian's waking hours became plagued by strange occurrences. Objects moved of their own accord. Whispers danced on the edge of his hearing, and every mirror seemed to reflect something sinister just beyond his reflection. One night, unable to bear the torment any longer, Kian returned to the wooded area where the nightmare began. Guided by a desperate urge, he ventured deeper into the trees, the undergrowth clawing at him, as if trying to drag him into the abyss. Then, at the heart of the woods, he found it, a grotesque altar adorned with baby masks, each one a harbinger of terror. A malevolent force surrounded him, and Kian realized he was not alone. Shadows writhed, the masks seemed to leer, and an otherworldly presence enveloped him. Cold sweat drenched his brow, and he knew he had stepped into a realm where nightmares walked the earth. The veil between the living and the spectral had been breached, and Kian found himself trapped in a malevolent dance with an entity that reveled in his fear. Every night, he heard the whispered voices, saw the twisted forms, and felt the icy fingers of the unknown brush against his skin. As his days dwindled, Kian yearned for the light, for an escape from the grip of the sinister realm. The baby masked figure haunted his every waking thought, and as the nights grew darker, he could sense its insidious grin looming closer, ready to claim him for eternity. Story 2: The Haunted Park. June of 2023 marked the beginning of a series of eerie events in a seemingly ordinary apartment complex. Jamie and friends Daniel, Sam, and Joe lived there, their daily routine punctuated by evening visits to the complex's gym. Weeknights at 9 p.m., they'd gather to work out, their bond growing stronger each time. One fateful night, the gym's door was unexpectedly locked, shattering their plans and sparking their frustration. With no recourse, they retreated to Joe's car, seeking solace in music. Restlessness gnawed at them until Jamie suggested they visit a nearby park, an innocuous idea, as they had frequented it without incident before. Nathaniel, the group's guide through the park's trails, led them deeper into the woods. Jamie's unease grew as the group's carefree chatter filled the air, disturbing the silence. Pushing aside her instincts, they continued. Arriving at a road they sought, but a strange sighting halted them. Nathaniel claimed to have seen a Bigfoot-like creature, sparking both curiosity and fear. Undeterred, they continued along the path, until a car's headlights pierced the darkness. Panic seized them. Imagining it was the police or security, they crouched, but the light held them captive. Desperation engulfed them, but it was Sam's innocent shout that finally broke the spell. They fled, sprinting down a hill into the woods, hearts pounding. Finally reaching safety, Nathaniel revealed a chilling truth: the figure had pursued them, staying just beyond sight. The group revisited the scene later, discovering the treacherous hill. Nathaniel's knowledge had saved them, yet questions lingered about the mysterious pursuer. The moral of the story: a simple night's venture can morph into a haunting ordeal. Trust your instincts, and always be vigilant in the face of the unknown. In the small town of Appleton, a quiet dread settled over the residents after a chilling incident. The unsettling encounter Kian had described spread like wildfire, tainting the atmosphere with a sense of impending doom. The woods that once felt familiar and safe now seemed to hide unspeakable horrors. As weeks turned into months, whispers of strange occurrences and shadowy figures became rampant. Those who dared venture into the woods reported hearing faint, discordant whispers that clawed at their minds, driving them to the edge of madness. Trees seemed to sway to an unheard rhythm, casting elongated shadows that twisted and contorted like malevolent dancers. The town's once bustling streets now bore an eerie emptiness. Curtains twitched nervously as residents peered through windows, afraid of what lurked beyond the glass. Fear spread like a contagion, and every rustle of leaves became a harbinger of terror. Soon, even the bravest of souls dared not speak of what they saw or heard in the woods. Fear had taken root, sinking its gnarled tendrils into the hearts of all who dwelt there. And then, one fateful night, the darkness clawed its way into the heart of the town itself. On the anniversary of Kian's chilling encounter, a chilling mist enveloped Appleton. Streetlights flickered ominously, casting disjointed shadows on the buildings. The air itself seemed to thicken, laden with the whispers of unseen entities. And then, like a spectral symphony, the baby-masked figures emerged from the fog. They prowled the streets, their distorted grins casting a sickening pallor over the night. Desperate cries echoed through the town as residents were pursued by the haunting figures. Panicked footsteps resounded, each echoing heartbeat a testament to the growing terror. The once united community was now a fractured tableau of fear. Doors slammed shut, barricades were hastily erected, and prayers for salvation whispered into the abyss. But the baby-masked specters were relentless, their mocking laughter echoing in the wind. As the night deepened, the town's defenses faltered. One by one, the figures breached the barriers, their ghoulish forms moving with unnatural speed. Windows shattered, and chilling cries echoed through the deserted streets. In the midst of the chaos, Kian found himself back in the woods, drawn by an irresistible force. The twisted trees seemed to beckon him, their gnarled branches forming an otherworldly path. He stepped forward, and the world around him warped, reality bending to the will of the sinister realm. As Kian ventured deeper, he realized he was not alone. The spectral entities surrounded him, their laughter like a symphony of torment. The baby-masked figures danced, their movements unnatural and unsettling. The ground trembled beneath his feet, and the veil between worlds grew thinner. In the heart of the woods, Kian came face to face with a grotesque altar, much like the one he had discovered before. Baby masks adorned the site, each one a conduit for the malevolent force that had haunted him. The whispers grew louder, forming an unholy chorus that reverberated through his mind. With every step he took, Kian felt himself being consumed by the darkness. The realm beyond beckoned, promising an eternity of torment. The twisted grins of the figures mocked him, their eyes devoid of empathy. And as Kian's screams mingled with the cacophony of whispers, the boundary between his reality and the malevolent realm shattered, sealing his fate in the eternal embrace of terror.